It's been a long few days. I've had to spend some time in bed. I think you can probably see I'm still not 100% right, but thought we'd pop in and do a little bit of an update. We didn't do an update for game week 6, and as you can see, I didn't have a bad game week. I got 69 points. I did not triple captain Haaland. I was tempted to triple captain Haaland, but in the end I didn't go with it. Poor decision probably, but I still got 69 points from last week, and that's taken me to an overall points tally of 356, miles off the lead, and did give me some green arrows though, and we've gone up to under 1 million now, and hopefully we'll continue because there's not a lot of space between people. And if you have a good game week, you're going to jump at this stage in the season. You're going to jump quite far. So let's hope we have another good game week. In my own league, though, struggling a little bit, but it was still a green arrow. And hopefully we're on the way up. I did make some changes. I had 3 transfers. I always at this game week wanted to bring Arsenal players in. And so out has gone Salah. I was fighting against that decision for so long this week. Do I want to get rid of him? Am I taking a big risk here? Because is he suddenly going to turn up now and blast in a hat trick? Whenever I got rid of him, and I would have had to at some point to upgrade to Arsenal players, it was always going to be a risk. So Chelsea away is probably the best game that I could think of to get rid of Salah. So he has gone, and I brought in Gyökeres and Saka simply because I need Arsenal players in there. Saka gives me the ability to move to Palmer should I need to when Palmer gets fully fit again, if he gets fully fit again. So I do have that ability, but I've lost Enzo Fernandez, and I've lost Caicedo. And they were regular points getters for me. Small amounts, but useful amounts. And instead, for this week, and for the next few weeks, I'm going to give Bruno Fernandes a try. Manchester United's fixtures are a little bit easier. I think they have Manchester City away. Or not Manchester City. Who have they got coming up? Let's have a look who they've got coming up. They have Liverpool away. That's a tough fixture. But the other ones, Sunderland, Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, they're all fixtures which he could get returns in. So I'm just going to give him a go for a while before I make my decision on which Arsenal players. I've gone with the obvious at the moment, Saka and Gyökeres, but I'm keeping an eye very much on Eze, who looks very, very sharp. And although he's not scoring at the moment, he's certainly getting shots away, and he looks very, very sharp to me at the moment. Excuse me, I've still got this terrible flu. Bruno Fernandes, I'm just hoping he picks up the odd return here and there. Manchester United, I hope, are going to score goals. They won't win their games, but I hope they're going to score some goals. And Fernandes will be in and around those goal attempts. So of the United players, he seems at the moment to be the obvious pick. I struggled with Sarr. I was thinking so much about bringing Sarr in, but I'm not convinced yet that he's fully 100% over his injury. And I decided we'll wait on that one. We won't rush into that. We're just going to wait on that one. I think I've got a pretty good team. I haven't changed my defence. And I've got something I was playing with. Do I play double Spurs at the back? I could even get rid of Pedro and bring in Udogie. Leeds away, are they likely to get a clean sheet? I don't know. I decided just to play Van der Ven, put Udogie on the bench, and play Senesi, who has Fulham at home, Richards, Everton away. And I haven't gone with Sells. Nottingham Forest's defending has been extremely poor. But Dubravka is actually making a lot of saves. And Aston Villa away, it's not the toughest game that Leeds are going to face. But Aston Villa will create chances. But the reason I'm actually putting him in there is that Aston Villa's finishing has not been great. They're getting shots away, but their finishing isn't great. And so I just decided, okay, let's go for the saves points. I don't think either of my goalkeepers are going to get clean sheets, but I just thought Dubravka has been actually outscoring Sells in recent weeks just simply by the saves that he's making. So I've decided to take a chance and put him in goal over Sells. Just for this week, probably. See how it works out. And then Fernandez Semenyo, of course, had to stay in there. Reinders, he may well go in the coming game weeks. I'm really not convinced, even though he's getting 90 minutes or near enough 90 minutes. I'm not really convinced that he's a good option. And an Everton midfielder might come in there, possibly Dewsbury Hall over the coming game weeks. I'm not sure how the midfield's going to work out yet. This is a temporary solution, and I'm just going to build up transfers now. And when I've got 3 or 4 more, I will make a decision on who's going to make up the midfield up until Christmas time. And that's how it goes for me, really. I'm just Gyökeres. I'm hoping Arsenal are going to start scoring goals now. Their fixtures are really good. If we have a look at Arsenal's fixtures, they look absolutely fabulous. West Ham at home, Fulham away, Crystal Palace. Hi, Rob Taff. How you doing, my friend? Crystal Palace away, Burnley away, Sunderland away. Arsenal, I hope, are going to score goals. And if the ball's going into the penalty area, Gyökeres is a striker. He's a poacher, and he will be in there. He will get chances. And I think he had to come in. Chris Wood is who's gone out with Salah. And, well, I don't know. I still have maintained some Chelsea presence. I've still got Enzo. I got rid of Caicedo, but I've still got Enzo on the bench. Only for this week. Enzo will come back into the team, I guess. And Chelsea still seem to have decent fixtures. They've had good fixtures all season long. If we look at the next, although they got Liverpool at home, and everybody's going to be benching Chelsea players at this point. Nottingham Forest, Sunderland, Tottenham, Wolves. In the next 4 game weeks after that, Chelsea seem to be having the most amazing run. And it's worth having a Chelsea player or 2 in your team. And I think it's fairly decent. I think absolutely agree with you, Rob Taff. And that's why one of the reasons why I've put Dubravka in, because chances are I'm going to get more save points. I'm not going to get clean sheets from either of them, I don't think. But I rate him a little bit better in terms of FPL points than I do Sells. Now, at some point, I'm going to make a change to my goalkeeper. At some point, I'm going to bring Raya in. But I will need transfers to do that, and I will need to free up money. I've got tons of places I can free up money. For example, Fernandez. He's only a temporary stop, but he will free up a ton of money. I can replace him with a cheaper midfielder. Maybe even Eze could come in there if I'm particularly impressed with Eze and he's getting the minutes. And then I can upgrade to Raya. And so I'll have 3 Arsenal players on the way up to Christmas. And I think that's about as good as it can get. The only thing that I'm thinking about for maybe around game week 12 would be to swap over Haaland for Salah. That's an easy change to make. And when Salah then goes away, and I think it's game week 17, I think I could just switch them back. So I'm considering that. I'm also very, very worried this week that that Salah's going to bag a hat-trick. Now that I've sold him, I'm really worried this week that Salah will go and get a hat-trick. But that's the way it goes. You make decisions in FPL and you've got to live by them. Can Chelsea keep 11 on the pitch is a very good question. And I'm not quite sure why that is happening. I don't know. I've not seen anything like this. I think they've had players sent off in three different games. I'm just looking at the fixtures. I've got two players tonight, Semenyo and Senesi playing. I really think that really there must be a chance of Bournemouth getting a clean sheet, and can Semenyo bag a goal or two or an assist. So I'm hoping for a good start tonight, Bournemouth against Fulham. Hey, James, won't be tonight, I will be on Sunday. What's up tonight? Are you watching the footy, James? Have a mini crisis. Keeper Allison was injured. Transferred Raya in. Wanted to play my bench boost, but had Murillo on the bench. Yeah. Is Murillo fit, though? I mean, I haven't heard anything on Murillo's fitness. We can have a quick look at that. Murillo. Yeah, they're saying they're going to make a late call on him, so it would be a gamble. I don't know. I think you're probably right. Don't bench boost at the moment. Allison injured, just unfortunate. But bringing Raya in now, you've got to keep Raya for the distant future. I mean, unless he gets injured, I mean, I would imagine everybody's looking at ways to get Raya into their team now. The reason being is he's not going to have rotation issues. He's going to make saves, and he's going to get clean sheets. Not all of them, of course, but he will get some clean sheets. And everybody's probably looking to get Raya in, as I am myself. And within the next 2 or 3 game weeks, he will be in my team. But I had to make other decisions today, and hopefully I've made the right ones. Bournemouth Fulham, I think, is going to be a Bournemouth win. I think there's probably no doubt about that. But Fulham are not to be trifled with, and probably will score. I'll probably say that's looking like a 2-1 to me, but hopefully it will end up 2-0. That's all I'm hoping for. Leeds and Spurs, that is a tough one to call. That's a very tough one to call. Rofes is actually the top goalkeeper in terms of FPL points at the moment. I was actually tempted to think about bringing him in, and might bring him in my next wild card after Christmas. It's because he's just solid, and he's picking up clean sheets, which is useful as well. And Sunderland, at the moment, they are doing extremely well. You can't argue with that. I'm not sure I'll be actually on tonight, James, because I'm just started sweating again already. This flu has been absolutely really nasty, and just totally knocked me off my feet. So I'm not sure I'll be able to do 2 streams. But this was just a tester. Can I do it? But if I get through this, then probably I'll be back on Sunday to continue with Ipswich. I've got 2 weeks before I go on holiday. 2 weeks is more than enough to get through the season with Ipswich. As long as nothing else turns up and floors me, then we'll get through the season with Ipswich quite easily. So Stormy Amy due from midnight. I don't think it's going to be the south of England, though. I think it's going to hit the northern areas, Rob Taff, is it? Where are you from? Are you from the north? Because me down south here, I don't think we're going to get bothered by it. Leeds Spurs, I'm going to go for a draw, funnily enough. I don't think... Oh, you're in Cardiff. I don't think it's going to hit us too much, Rob Taff. Oh, of course, Taff. I should have realised. Being a Welsh boy myself, I should have realised in your name, Taff. I remember my father being called Taff a lot. I'm really not quite sure where it's from, but I do remember that. And then Arsenal, West Ham. You've got to go Arsenal to win comfortably there. But again, nothing's guaranteed in the Premier League, and trying to predict scores, it's the hardest thing on earth. United and Sunderland, that's one of the reasons I brought Fernandes in the end, was that even I think it probably will be high scoring, and it's possible United could even lose, but goals will be scored. I don't think Sunderland will park the bus in the way that they've been doing to get results. I think that they will probably attack United a little bit more, and they'll fancy their chances. So I think there'll be goals in there, and I think Mbuemo could well be involved. Fernandes could be involved. It wouldn't surprise me to see that a 3-2 either way. It would. I think there's going to be goals. Just hoping that it goes the Man United way, but Sunderland are just way overperforming at the moment. A bit like my Ipswich save, and I don't know how that's going to go. Luckily, I won't have to suffer watching it on TV at 3:00 in the afternoon. You think Sunderland 4-2? I think you're not far off. I think there's going to be goals in it, James. I think that it could go either way. And my guess was 3-2. 4-2 is similar. But I'm not sure. I can definitely say Sunderland. They've got a chance. But there will be goals in it, and it will go either way. High-scoring game either way. Chelsea, Liverpool. The fact that it's at Chelsea and Liverpool have lost their last 2 games would probably not fill Liverpool supporters' hearts with joy. Chelsea are not a bad team, but then Chelsea are not that great at the moment either. I think, again, it could be another draw, perhaps a 2-2 draw. That's I'm avoiding defenders from Liverpool at the moment. I'm avoiding defenders from Manchester City because of Pep rotation. And I'm avoiding defenders from Chelsea because they are getting injured and they don't look very secure at the back. But they do look good up front, Chelsea. Aston Villa, Burnley. You've got to go Aston Villa. But I don't think Aston Villa are going to romp it. One of the reasons why, when I looked at Watkins coming in with the fixtures Villa have got, I just thought they're not doing well enough. Might be a 1-0, maybe even a 2-0. Chelsea 3-1 due to no goalkeeper. You think Liverpool or Chelsea to win, James, 3-1. I got that for me has got draw written all over it, but it's got goals in it. I think that Chelsea's attack is good, and all they have to do is click one day, and they will score goals. And if they all click on the same day in a big game like Liverpool, they're going to give Liverpool a hell of a game. So I just think that's really hard to call. It's got draw written all over it. But again, there'll probably be goals in it. As Aston Villa, yeah, they will win, but not by what people are predicting. Everton, Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace will win that one. Now that Crystal Palace have got Sarr back, he could well be very, very important in the coming game weeks in FPL. And I thought long and hard about bringing him in instead of Fernandes. But I want to see him play first. Over a couple of game weeks, and then make a decision on Sarr. But if he's humming on Sunday, I got to go Crystal Palace on that one. Burnley 2-0. Several tough to pick this weekend. Mine actually went to plan last week, Rob Duff. It was 69, call it 70, is a good game week score. And the fact that I did have Haaland as captain, but I didn't play the triple captain. And had I played the triple captain, I would have got an extra 16 points. So I would have been 85. That 8-8-1 would probably be more like 4-5-1. But I still have, the good news is I still have my triple captain to play, and there are still lots of options that I can use much later on. I thought about triple captain for this week, Brentford, while he's in this form. And I might well yet do it before 6:30. I may yet well make Haaland triple captain, even though he's away at Brentford. The Brentford defence has been absolutely shocking. And this is the kind of game that nobody thinks about in terms of captaincy or triple captaincy. And it would be a good one to play it in. Especially with the form he's in at the moment. He just can't stop scoring at the moment. I think he got a brace again in the Champions League, didn't he? So I am going to make my mind up before the deadline as to whether to play the triple captain chip here. Probably won't haul as many as he did last week, but it might create that little differential for this week, which pushes me up into maybe into the top 500,000 for this week. That could be a big decision that I make later on. I'm seriously considering doing it, Rob Taff. For one of the reasons, there is an international break coming up, and that is a good reason to do it. I may well make him triple captain. It's just like, because they're away, it's not something that people would automatically think of, right? They're away from home, I'm going to play my triple captain. But it's a game that might catch people out, the other players out, because there won't be many putting triple captain on him this week. And it just might be, with Brentford's form and their defence in particular being absolutely shocking, it just might be that this is a good game week to play it. I've been thinking all day about that, in and out of writing my book, which is killing my brain at the moment. But that book's nearly finished as well, so hopefully I'm going to be publishing that before I go on holiday, which will be nice. Let's go back to Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. I got to think Newcastle in that one. They're starting to get their act together. But there's still no Newcastle players that at the moment I'm considering for my FPL squad. Savino, I don't think you're crazy starting Enzo. I have him on the bench. He's someone that I didn't really want to get rid of, and I have him on the bench, as you can see there. I don't think you're absolutely crazy starting him. I've kept João Pedro. I could easily take João Pedro out and put Udogie in and have a double Spurs defence away at Leeds. And on the surface, that would look less risky than playing João Pedro. But I don't believe that Chelsea are not going to score in that game. And it's got goals written all over it. Liverpool are struggling for a goalkeeper. The Chelsea defence is suffering with injuries and goodness knows what, and form. And the Liverpool defence is not functioning properly either. The game has just got goals written all over it. And even if Chelsea lose, I still think they could score a couple of goals. And Enzo and João Pedro could well be involved in those goals. So I don't think you're actually crazy, Savino. Just looking at my midfield and my forwards, I don't have any place for Enzo this week. I'd rather play Reinders, I think, over Enzo because of the fixture. And so therefore, unless I take João Pedro out, I can't put Enzo in. Now, taking João Pedro out and putting Enzo in might be a good move, because Enzo in a game like that is less likely to be tightly marked than João Pedro. You think about João Pedro, Van Dijk's going to be all over him. He might play on the left side so that he's playing against Canate. That's if he plays as the number 9. He might also be playing as the number 10, in which case Liverpool's midfield have got enough about them to look after him. So Enzo is the one that might not be too tightly marked. And therefore, it's another decision to make. Like, who is more likely for Chelsea to be involved in goal threat? Enzo has to rank highly in that goal threat at the moment. I beginning to think about it now that he might rank more higher than João Pedro in terms of goal threat against Liverpool. I don't know. Now you've got me thinking. That's a tough decision that I will need to make very shortly. But I think for me, I like my midfield the way it is, and it's strong. I mean, I'm lucky because I've got almost... It's like 101.7 million now my squad is worth. So I've got extra cash, and I've been able to build the team because I've got extra cash. Salah, of course, freed up a ton of money. I don't know. But Fernandes is obviously the big worry. But Sunderland at home, if anybody's going to get returns in that game, it's going to be Fernandes. Or Mbuemo. I had so many decisions to make, but I've made the decisions I've made. I think it's strong. I think Semenyo's doing well. But then again, somebody mentioned the international break coming up. Players never come back from an international break in the same form that they went away from it. And so Semenyo is one that I would worry about. Form is only temporary. And at some point, he's going to stop doing what he's doing. He's been in great form, yes. But can he keep that up all season? Probably the answer is no to that. But, yeah, I'm happy to have him at the moment until we see his form declining. And then he can go as well. There's plenty of players in midfield, cheap players from 5 mil all the way up to 7 mil. Plenty of cheap players who you can bring in to replace Semenyo when you need to. So I'm happy to have him. I don't like the fact that he's playing the Friday night game. And I got 2 players playing the Friday night game. I do have this superstition that my players never play well before 3 o'clock on Saturday. I don't know where that's come from, but I do believe that my players never play very well before 3 o'clock on Saturday. But I'm hoping that's going to break tonight and we'll have a good result for the Bournemouth boys. Sandro would be the only one I would suggest. Tonali. Tonali, for me, Tonali, and I've watched a lot of Newcastle, and in fact I watched them in midweek. Tonali is a very, very good midfielder, and I'm not going to deny that. Those 3, Guimarães, Tonali and Joelinton, are super midfielders. I wish Manchester United had 3 players in midfield like them. But for me, they are not goal scorers, and they will have periods where they assist. They will have games where they score, but they're not, for me, consistent enough in terms of goal returns to think about bringing them into my team. And that's reflected in the price that they are available for. It reflects that over the seasons, they don't provide that kind of return that you might be looking for. And like Reinders... It's I don't know why Reinders is in my team, except probably the fact that he just is starting every game, plays 80 minutes, and he's playing with Haaland. And that's, at the moment, looking like a lethal combination, those two. And Reinders is setting up Haaland. Haaland is setting up Reinders. Reinders has missed some sitters that Haaland would have dispatched quite easily. And so one of these days, Reinders is going to click. But I don't get that feeling with players like Tonali. More Guimarães, yes, but Tonali hasn't got that goal threat. I think he's an absolutely super player. But has he got that FPL goal threat that you need? It's interesting. Elanga, for me, has yet to prove himself. I wouldn't have Elanga in my team until he's actually proven himself. It's an interesting pick to have to Newcastle. Who have Newcastle got this week? We did have a look at that. Nottingham Forest, they could well turn over. Nottingham Forest could well do that. But they're not firing yet up front on all cylinders, which is why I'm not even considering Voltemada. Even though he's getting the odd goal here and there, it's not like they're looking like they're gonna bulldoze a team 1 week 5-0, where he's going to pick up those big contributions. They're not looking like that yet, even though Newcastle are looking better in my book. Okay, James, mate, enjoy your weekend, and hopefully I'll see you on Sunday, mate. Battle Royale of England versus Wales on Thursday. And I wonder who you will be supporting, Taff. gotta wonder that. So I think I know, and I'm looking at Enzo, Caicedo, and Pedro for Chelsea. I wouldn't actually panic over that. Liverpool have lost their last 2 games, remember, and confidence won't be that high. Salah. I don't know what's wrong with Salah. I think he might be playing too wide, and his instructions are to stay wide to provide the width. So he's not the goal threat he was. He gets chances, but there's not as many as he used to get. But he can still be a very deadly creator. And with both Chelsea and Liverpool defence looking very vulnerable, I think there'll be goals. And so because there'll be goals, you've got players there, Enzo and Pedro, who will be involved if Chelsea score goals. And then you have Caicedo, who's always good for 2 DEFCON points. I don't know if I like calling it DEFCON. Sounds like we might be going to war. We're at DEFCON 2. Defensive contribution points, perhaps, is a better way of doing it. What I don't have in midfield, apart from Bruno, is anybody else who's going to pick up those defensive contribution points. And I chose to keep Enzo rather than Caicedo because of his goal threat. So there's no midfielder that I have apart from Fernandes who is capable of getting defensive contribution points. That's one of my problems. But overall, I'm happy with my team. The question is now, do I just go triple captain or not? That's the biggie. And there's a part of me that's thinking I need to get rid of it. Like when I played my wild card early, I played my bench boost early because I did not want to be thinking about it all the time. I know I've got more for the second part of the season, so they just become a headache. When do I play them? And you start wondering, you start making your transfers to make sure your bench is okay for a certain game week, and then you get injuries, and then you've got to rethink again. I just wanted to play everything early so that I didn't have to worry about all that nonsense. And triple captain, has it mattered really that I haven't played it last week? Not really. I had Salah, who picked up some contributions. I can't remember how much. And all the other players, Semenyo got a return, Enzo got a return. So I made up points. Eze or Gordon? Hi, Hassan. I would go Eze. Gordon is a good player. But Eze, for me, has got the easier fixture. But also, he's getting a lot of shots on goal. Hasn't scored, but one of these days, one of those is going to go in. He's getting a lot of shots off. The question you've got to ask yourself is, are you confident he's going to start? That's the question you've got to answer. They've got Odegaard back now. And there is option rotations available for Arteta. Now, Eze did start in midweek, I believe. I think he started, didn't he, or did he come off the bench? Can't remember now. But whenever he was on the field, he was getting a lot of shots away. He's finding a lot of space. Gordon, on the other hand, if you look at Gordon, you've got probably guaranteed 80 minutes, 75, 80 minutes. But are they going to score a lot of goals against Nottingham Forest? Is the question you need to be asking yourself. Eze is playing West Ham. Now, defensively, West Ham are not setting the world on fire. If Eze starts, I would suggest he's going to get shots away. And if that's the case, one of these days, Eze is going to come up with 2 goals and an assist. One of these days it will happen. But you've got to think about whether or not he's starting. Because you know Gordon will start. But has Gordon got the same goal threat? I don't think so. Coming in from the left, getting shots away. He will score occasionally, Gordon, but it's not that consistent goal threat that Eze looks like he's going to have. I think he's been very, very unlucky in the few games that I've seen him not to be scoring a lot more. There's been some very, very good goalkeeping that's kept him out. And one of these days, they're going to go in. So personally, Hassan, I would go with Eze. I'd take a chance and go with Eze. And the risk I would be taking is he going to play? Is he going to start? Because with Odegaard back, where's he going to play Odegaard if Eze plays? Can he move Eze over to the left instead of Trossard? Trossard's in very, very good form. He's keeping Martinelli out of the team. Arteta has options now that he didn't have last year. And that might mean that Arteta makes mistakes as well. Personally, I would play Eze. He looks in absolutely fabulous form. He's really doing very well. He actually was responsible for the equaliser against Manchester City. And if you watch that game in terms of a tactical approach, Arteta was very cute there at the end of the game because he moved Eze back into what was called a quarterback role, where he sat really deep and he was playing these direct balls over the top, and it was very effective. And from one of them, they scored. Martinelli scored. So Eze is the kind of player that Arteta can ask to do that. He did try doing it with Odegaard in the Champions League. It wasn't so effective. Eze's got the ability to spray those longer passes. And that might mean that Eze starts on the bench because he becomes a secret weapon for the last 30 minutes if things are not going well, and he plays in Europe. I don't know, like anybody else, I don't know what Arteta is thinking. And I just hope he starts, because I think that he's essential for Arsenal. In my eyes, if I was the manager, he'd start without a shadow of a doubt. I'd fit Odegaard in somewhere else. I would take a chance, Hassan, on Eze, but that's just me. I take risks, as I've taken a risk with Bruno. As I've taken a risk with Dubravka this weekend. So I will take risks, but if you're not open to taking risks and losing, then I wouldn't follow what I say. I'd go for the safe pick and go for Gordon. How about long term? What I say, Hassan, is what you do know is that Gordon is going to get regular minutes. Can we say that about Eze? If I say to you, pick Eze long term, then Arteta will turn around and just play him in Europe and he'll get 30 minutes in the Prem. I know what happens to me in FPL. Again, it's about the amount of risk that you want to take. That's all it's about. Eze is the risk, but possibly going to be the most productive or the more productive. Gordon is the safe pick, but he won't get as many returns as Eze. That's the gamble of FPL. Um, you've got Eze already. Again, I'd say to you, Rob Tuff, Eze is a gamble. There are safer picks that you can bring in, but I did think Eze or Fernandez, and I thought long hard about it. I even thought about Everton players coming in instead of Fernandez. I've just gone with Fernandez just because I think it's time. He's got the fixtures now over the next 4 game weeks, and it's time for me to try. With Sunderland coming up tomorrow, and then they've got that Liverpool game. Well, he's even capable of scoring against Liverpool, penalty or whatever. But it's the games after that United could possibly score goals. So, I'm a risk taker. And I went for Fernandez rather than Eze. That was a tough call. Even that Arteta might... Yeah, absolutely, Gabriel might get rest. The Arsenal defender I would think about getting in is Calafiori. He looks to me like he is set in that left-back position. And he has a very good goal threat. I know Timber got the 2 goals and assist in one of the games, but he's not going to do that very often. In fact, he probably won't do it for the rest of the season. But Calafiori does get into very good attacking positions. And I think they're probably going to use him a lot to open up space down that left-hand side. And possibly even have Eze playing on the left, cutting inside, opening up the space for Calafiori on the left-hand side. That is my pick from the Arsenal defence. But he's could be rotated as well. We don't know what Arteta thinks. So personally, the Arsenal defender I want in is Raya. And then I put him in, I don't have to worry about him. I don't have to worry about him being rotated out, rested, anything. I do have to worry about getting injuries, which will probably happen. But, yeah, Raya would be the Arsenal defender of my choice. Timber, yeah, like I said, he's kind of... I don't know. He started every game, and he's got his returns in that one fixture. I don't know who was that against. He got 2 goals and an assist. And those who had him were definitely celebrating then. I didn't. But is he going to keep starting? Ben White got game time in Europe. Is he going to keep starting all the time? Or is at some point Arteta going to start rotating this team? Because he does have options now. He has a lot of options. And it wouldn't surprise me to see even Saka being rotated. Because like you think about what options he has on that right wing, which he didn't have last season. And he's got to be careful with Saka, because he doesn't want Saka getting a recurring injury. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Saka coming off after 65 minutes this week. But I'm hopeful that he'll just do the business before then. So Arsenal players, although like a lot of players, including myself, are saying get Arsenal players in. That may not be the right thing to do at the end of the day. And I know I've put Arsenal players in my team, but it's a risk. Even Gyökeres is a risk because he can't keep playing 90 minutes in Europe and in the Premier League. And Arteta at some point is going to say Gyökeres is rested. So Arsenal players are becoming a little bit like Manchester City. You don't know who he's going to play. And when they've got a full fit squad, which it's becoming that way again, then it's going to be difficult for him to leave players out constantly just to play the same 11. So Arsenal's becoming a little bit like Manchester City in my eyes. And I may well yet have to get rid of those two if they're not starting and getting at least 75 minutes every game. I think they're safe for the next few weeks, but it might change. And it might not be such a good idea to load up your team with Arsenal players. I'd be very wary. I do have ways that I can offload them. My team will certainly be like this for 3 or 4 weeks. And I will hopefully build up transfers as long as I don't get too many injuries during the international break and during the games. I will actually build up my transfers again until we get to about game week 11 or 12. So I'll have about 5 transfers I can use again in game week 12. So that will be the point where I probably want to change Haaland over to Salah. I don't know yet. It depends on if Haaland can keep up his form. And then I may well be looking at least reducing that Arsenal setup to 1 rather than 2. I don't know yet. That's to be seen. But certainly for now, I'm going to gamble and I'm going to go with Gyökeres and Saka. Saka should have enough games in him. He's just back from injury. He should be fit. He should be raring to go. Gyökeres, I'm pretty sure, will be rested at some point. Timber, yeah, I don't know about Timber. You're probably... I mean, he's got clean sheets in him for sure. Arsenal are going to get clean sheets, Rob Taff. There's absolutely no doubt. If you look at Arsenal's fixtures coming up, they are just ridiculous. And we have, let's just look at Arsenal's fixtures coming up. You've got West Ham at home, and you've got Fulham away, Crystal Palace at home. Really, none of those are tricky. In terms of getting clean sheets, none of those fixtures are tricky. And then you have, what's that, Bournemouth, is it? Oh, my vision is terrible. What have we got after that? Burnley then and Sunderland, both away, but there's still fixtures you've got to back Arsenal players for. You've got to think that Arsenal are going to get 3 clean sheets in there. Minimum 2, but I would say they're going to get 3 clean sheets in there. So having an Arsenal defender is probably something that is essential. Whoever you go for, and I personally in a couple of weeks will put Raya in simply because of the clean sheet factor. I'm not worried about attacking returns from the defence. I just want that clean sheet. And Raya will play 90 minutes every week. And he's a cheaper option than the defenders from Arsenal, who could be rotated, but definitely have one Arsenal defender. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be keeping the Arsenal attackers because, as I said, I'm really concerned that rotation is going to be a big issue, a big issue. And they are going to become a little bit like Manchester City, and we've got no idea who's going to be starting week after week. Overall, though, the only decision I've really got to make is whether or not to activate the triple captain. And, it's a big decision. I got 15 minutes to make my mind up on that. What do you think I should do, guys? Should I activate the triple captain this week? I didn't use it last week. I still got 32 points with Haaland. I could have got another 16 points, but I can make those points up. If Haaland plays well and has another good game this week, I can make those points I lost last week. And that, I mean, people who used their triple captain last week can't play it again. So I could steal some places by triple captaining this week. And Brentford's defence has been shocking. After Haaland, there aren't many top scoring strikers. There aren't. You're right, Rob Taff. Yeah, I mean, and I can make, if he plays well, even if he gets, say he gets a goal, and then he gets the bonus points, then the 16 points I lost last week, I make up 9 of them this week. So it's certainly, I got 10 minutes to make that decision. He gets a goal and assist. That's 7, 10. And probably the bonus the bonus points. We're looking at, 13 points there. So I'll have made up 13 of the 16. And if he gets 2 goals and an assist, then I make up them all. So I think, with his form at the moment, I'm thinking, who else is going to be showing this form later on in the first half of the season? Salah does play Sunderland at home. And if you might want to be then thinking of taking a punt on Isak as captain, but you can't triple captain somebody who isn't proven yet in that Liverpool team. You'd have to, in that fixture, you'd have to go with Salah. He's 14.5 million. He is put in your team to be captain. And you'd have to go with Salah in that game. But Salah's not playing well enough to warrant a triple captain. Haaland is. And so I think I've just talked myself into it, haven't I? I think we will activate the triple captain this week. There we go. Triple captain is on. So there we go. I've got my triple captain activated. And we'll see what happens. Even if he only gets 1, I've made up the points, or 9 of the points, 8 or 9 of the points that I lost last week. That should be helpful in terms of getting a better green arrow. I used a triple captain a couple of weeks ago on Salah. It's one of these days, and probably this weekend, Salah is going to get a haul. He is too good a player not to suddenly come back into form. One of these days, he's going to get points. And there's going to be a lot of people thinking, why did I sell Salah? Including myself. And I'm thinking, because I sold him today, that he's probably going to haul this weekend. 2 goals for Salah this weekend coming up. That's the way FPL goes. And I just got to hope that the players that I've brought in, the Arsenal players and Bruno Fernandes, can cover the points that he makes. So, I mean, writing Salah off is probably the worst thing people can do. And thinking to yourself, I'm never going to bring Salah back into my team now. Because there are going to be times when Salah hits top-class form. And so, I mean, for me, I've made a decision now that it's either or. I've played both of them for 5 game weeks, and it's paid off. But now it's time to choose, because I need Arsenal players. It's time to choose which one. And for now, I'm going to go with Haaland. But if you look at things from game week 12 to 17, it may well be worth switching back to Salah. Keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on the returns he's getting. Because game week 12, I may well be switching back to Salah and taking Haaland out. I think if we look at those game weeks, if you look at Haaland's fixtures from game week 12 onwards. Where's game week 12? So we've got Newcastle. I mean, you can even think about. We've got Aston Villa, Bournemouth. That's okay. And then I can see Newcastle there. They're not bad, actually. It's going to be a tough call. He's got a couple of tough fixtures in there, but not too many. And we're also looking at Aston Villa and Liverpool here. Aston Villa is no big deal. I don't know why they've got that marked in red. It should be a green with a 2 on it. But Liverpool, and it's like I've always said about Salah. Salah is Salah. And when he's ready to score goals, he will score goals. It doesn't matter who he's playing. It could be anybody. It could be Manchester City, Arsenal, anybody. Once he decides I'm going to score goals, he will score goals. The same can be said of Haaland. There are no difficult fixtures for Haaland. In the same way you'd look at Bournemouth playing Man City away, you think, oh, I've got to hide my Bournemouth players on the bench this week. There are no difficult fixtures for Haaland or Salah. You just put them in. because they are capable of scoring against any defence. It doesn't matter who it is. So, yeah, you just put them in. And I'd love to be able to afford to have them both. But because I need Arsenal players, or at least I think I need Arsenal players at the moment, I can't have them both. I just don't have that money. I might after Christmas have the money to do it, but not yet. So I think we go with Manchester City for the next 4 or 5 game weeks, and then we make our mind up at game week 12. And we'll also be deciding about Saka and Gyökeres at that point. So I'll have 5 transfers by then, or 4 transfers by then, and we can make changes at that point. But for now, I'm pretty happy with the team. I'm feeling pretty good about triple captaining this week now, as everybody mostly played it last week, got their benefit from it last week. Hopefully I will get the benefit from it this week. And then this green arrow, again, with the extra points, will push me up even further. Absolutely, Rob Taffy. He will. You can't stop. He's not going to go through the whole season, Salah, and not be in form at some point. There is going to be a time where he has this run and he's going to get contributions. And we have to just be vigilant and wait for him to start doing that. Brentford will be more open than Burnley. Yes, they will, definitely. So I'm pretty happy about playing the triple captain. He'll probably just get a blank now this week. But hey, I'll pick up 2 points that I lost on last week. I think we get 17. We do get transfers because of AFCON, don't we? I'm not sure it's 5. Is it 5 that we get? I'm really not sure how many. But yes, I do think that we do get some transfers. And I do believe it's game week 17, that AFCON. And the sad part about it is that Salah does have a very, very good fixture for game week 17, which is a bit sad. The players are going to have to be shifting him out just before they've got that really good fixture. But it is what it is. But I would definitely be considering bringing Salah back for game weeks 12 to 17, without a doubt. Because their fixtures are very, very good there. But again, it just depends. If he doesn't start scoring goals in the way that he used to, then he's no good to us, because at his price point at 14.5 mil, I want better returns than what he's actually doing. Haaland is justifying his 14 mil price tag, without a doubt. And Salah's not really doing it. And you look at Salah; he might be performing in the same way as Reinders is in terms of returns, and Reinders is 5.5. So there's a big price difference, money that you could be using elsewhere, and that's why Salah has gone now. And that's why he's going to get a hat-trick against Chelsea, because I've sold him. But he's not justifying the price tag that he has on him. And you can argue that neither is Fernandes. And it is a good argument. But I'm a Man United fan. It's about time I put a Man United player in. If I'd put Eze in, I'd just be leaving 3 mil in the bank, or 2.5 mil in the bank. And I'd rather use the money. I think Fernandes is a shocking gamble that I'm taking. But it's me. I'm a gambler, and I'll go with it for a few weeks. And he'll probably be out of my team in a few weeks. I'll be frustrated with him. But I'm going to give him a go, because he's on pens and he will be involved in goals. And now is the time United might start scoring a few. So I'm trying to predict with him. Could well happen, but Fernandes, I don't think is going to give them away too easily. And the other thing to remember is that although Fernandes has had 3 penalties and only scored 1, if you think about, people will not remember that he actually scored 2 penalties in the Grimsby game that it went to penalties. Fernandes scored twice, but Mbeumo, when he took his, he missed. And so Mbeumo has actually missed a penalty and has 100% miss record, whereas Fernandes' record, if you take those 2, then he's now, instead of 1 out of 3, he's 3 out of 5. He's looks a lot better. So hey Callum, how you doing? I'm better. I'm sweating like hell at the moment. I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but the sweat is pouring off me. But I thought I would try it out tonight. Try streaming, see how I got on, and so far it's okay. But yeah, I have locked in my triple captain now for this week. I'm not going to change that now, as coming up to deadline. I have no reason to change that. And good luck to me with Haaland. Good luck to everybody. It's about, the deadline's about to pass, a couple of minutes. Make sure that you are happy with your teams. Don't usually watch the Fs. I don't do fantasy football. It's definitely, Callum, something you need to get involved in. You'll never watch football in the same way again. That's what I'll say to you. And there will be times, I don't know who you support, Callum. Are you a Newcastle boy? There will be times where you suddenly are shouting for Sunderland. It changes the way that you watch football. And there are times when I'm cheering Liverpool on. There are times where I want Arsenal to win. It just changes the way you watch football. The more you play it, the worse that becomes. And, in the end, you don't know who the hell you're supporting anymore. I think it is a good side, to be honest, Rob Tuff. But there's so many players in there that are just unknowns. Saka, Gyökeres, Fernandes, all expensive players who are just unknowns, and they're just gambles. I'm just hoping, with the fixtures that they have, that there's a good few points on offer here today or over the weekend. Just hoping. And Chelsea, who knows? They might surprise us all and beat Liverpool 2-0. Liverpool's form has been dreadful. It's just been awful. So Chelsea just might go and shock the football world. Liverpool losing their 2nd game in a row. Who knows what will happen with that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. 2 players playing tonight in the Bournemouth game against Fulham. I don't think I'm going to be streaming tonight. I'm still, I'm struggling now. When you've got flu, it's not just your body feeling awful, that mentally you just can't do things. I've been trying to get my book finished before I go on holiday. I'm almost there. But at least I can do that while I'm lying in bed. I can't stream lying in bed, unfortunately. It would look a bit strange. But, yeah, so, yeah, don't forget my book is coming out very, very soon, hopefully before I go on holiday. And I've got a surprise video coming out as well before I go on holiday, which I hope to be working on next week. And then that'll come out just before I go away. And then in the meantime, we'll finish the Ipswich save. We're well on course. We'll finish that in 2 weeks. And I'm just a little bit sad that I'm going to miss the launch of FM26. In fact, its launch date is the day that I fly. It comes out on the day that I fly, unfortunately. So I'm going to be about a month late beginning. But No, Darlington fan, Callum. Are they in the same league as Cardiff? That's a thought, isn't it? This fantasy football would be good for me. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what it is, but I just enjoy football more than I used to. And like when my player's blank and I'm watching the game, I'm like, oh, for goodness sake. And like last week when I was watching Manchester City and Haaland had just got an assist and all those people had played their triple captain and I had not played mine. And I'm sitting here thinking, like I'm the cat who just got the cream at 90 minutes and then he goes and scores twice and my emotions just went so far down at that point. It changes the way you watch football and it changes the emotions that you have, um, because suddenly it's not just anymore about who you support and who you don't like and who you like. It's about who you've got on this pitch, and that somehow matters, because you need this to go up all the time. You've got to keep trying to get that to go up all the time. So it matters, and it will change the way. And I'm guessing that anybody sitting in here who does play FPL, like Callum, like Rob Taff, who's chatting away there, I'm guessing that it's changed the way you watch football as well. Like, I can remember before I played FPL, would I have watched Bournemouth versus Fulham? No, I would have had no interest in watching Bournemouth versus Fulham. Tonight, I'll be there, glued to the set. And when Fulham score, my head will be in my hands like this, like you donkeys. It's like it changes football completely. I love the game, to be fair. And it's a lot different from playing in the newspapers. Jamie, I've got annual leave on launch day. Aren't you the lucky one, Jamie? I mean, I guess, Jamie, I'm fairly lucky too because I'll be on an aeroplane flying to Vietnam. So I guess I'm lucky too. But I booked my holiday because my adopted daughter's birthday is November the 5th, and I wanted to be with her on a birthday, and I could have gone a month earlier. I had options, but I just chose to be with her on her birthday, and I wasn't really at that time too sure there would be an FM26. I had no idea. We'd had no news. To me, it didn't look like we were ever going to get another game, so I thought it was pretty safe to go. It's the way it worked out, but I'll be back mid-November. I'll be a month behind you guys, but I'll catch up. No worries at all. Which reminds me that the deadline has now passed. My triple captain is locked in. And it also reminds me I've been invited to play in the Match Lab League, which I have to reply to because I'm just not going to have the time because I'm going to be on holiday, unfortunately. So that would have been fun. But yeah, I do need to reply to that email. Yes, of course, creative. And the three of them mean the world to me. They are my life now. And they're so far away. And it's just going to be so nice for me to be with her on a birthday, and that's the lovely part of it. And I'm also noticing that I do have to do something, I think, with my background. Just needs to stretch a little bit, doesn't it? My background needs to stretch a little bit on the left hand side. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. My editing skills there have let me down, but there's just like a millimeter. It needs to stretch over to the left-hand side. Funny the things I notice. Probably not best to get it on day one. Yeah, I'll be coming back possibly just in time for the update because it's like a month later, isn't it, where they update and get rid of all the bugs. So, in a sense, I'll be coming in again after the update, but I know my channel is going to suffer. It always does. But I'm just hoping that people understand that I have to go away, that I need to see them, and I will be back at the soonest. And I just hope people will understand and just keep just don't unsubscribe and just hold on until I get back. And we'll come back and do a lot of streaming. I've got a lot of plans now. I started planning while I've had this 3 days in bed. Started planning my streams. I'm going to be streaming a women's football. I'm thinking of doing the London City team in women's football. I'm going to stream that probably once a week. I'm going to be doing a journeyman. I'm going to be streaming a journeyman just like we had last year. I don't know where we're going to start, but possibly South Korea or somewhere like that where I've never been before. In League 2 or something in South Korea would be fun. And we'll do a journeyman and see where we end up. And then I don't know who I'm going to do in terms of, I want to do a one club save again, similar to Ipswich, but I don't know who that's going to be. I'm thinking Woking at this point in time, but I've got a lot of plans, for a lot of videos, a lot of streams when 26 comes out, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun from November when I come back. And I actually don't know which I'm more excited about now, going on holiday or coming back. Probably both have got similar excitement levels. But yeah, thank you, Callum. I do appreciate that. And I know there are many of you who've been long-term followers, long-term subscribers, come to watch the streams, interact and chat with me, and I love it. That's why I stream, because I get to interact with all you guys. It's fun, and I so much appreciate it, more than you know. I'm just looking at this. I'm wondering, have I made the right decision with Dubravka? Well, would Sells have been a better choice? This is me, you see. I'm a gambler. And I think he deserves a shot now, Dubravka. He sat on my bench picking up points and deserves a shot. I'm not hopeful that Sells is going to get anywhere near a clean sheet against Newcastle at St. James's Park. It just doesn't sound possible to me, so I think that's probably the right call. I don't think either of them are going to get clean sheets, to be fair. But I think it's just going to be an interesting week's football. There are some big fixtures, some good little fixtures, and there are some interesting fixtures. Manchester United Sunderland is an interesting fixture. Interesting from the point of you can't call that one. You don't know who's going to win that one. The big game, Chelsea Liverpool. There's a lot of interesting. Newcastle Nottingham Forest is the game that I will watch at 2:00 on Sunday. That is a game I can't call. A lot of good football, I think, to be played this week. Done your bench boost then. Murillo, when they're cagey, when they say, oh, we'll have to see, there's going to be a late test, it means that they're up for selection. It generally means that they're almost there. If he wasn't fit, he'd have come straight out and said, no, he's not going to be available this week. And they tend to just put it like that to be cagey. They don't want people to know he's going to play at the moment, just in case he doesn't. But the chances are he's going to make it. So fingers crossed he will make it for you on the bench there. And yeah, thank you guys. I mean, I hope that everybody gets green arrows this week, including me. To think that after game week 1, I was 4.5 million. And then I went down to 3 million. Then I got to 2 million. Then last time out went to 1,000,007, then to 1,000,004. And now finally we're at 881. We've been having small green arrows all the way. And hopefully we're going to get a nice one with Haaland's triple captain this week, catching everybody out now. And we'll have a nice green arrow. And I hope you guys all have... Sunderland can beat... I think you're absolutely right, Callum. I think Sunderland could easily beat United. But I think there will be goals in it. And I said this earlier. I'm absolutely convinced there will be goals in that game. Which is why I've brought Fernandes in. And somebody said it might be 4-2. I think it would probably be 3-2 either way. Difficult to say which way, but there'll be goals. Are you watching more games due to FPL than you did before? No, I always watched the football. My weekends were about watching football. And if I had videos to do, I'd do them Saturday morning or Sunday morning, leaving my afternoons and evenings free to watch football. I've always watched football. FPL makes me watch more. As I said, I wouldn't normally watch a game like Bournemouth versus Fulham. Or I might watch it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. Whereas now FPL has just made those games a little bit more important than they were previously. But Saturday, Sunday, I'd always watched the games. Always. The Premier League is probably the best league in the world. It still is. It's been said before, and I think it still is. And the reason that it is because you cannot predict it. You cannot predict who is going to win any of those games. Even when you've got like Manchester City, Sunderland, you don't know who's going to win. Sunderland may play out of their skins and have the game of their life and beat them. You just don't know. And it does happen. It does happen. So that's why I watch it, is because it's so unpredictable. And I, as a Man United fan, over the years, as I've got older, I'm not that like fanatical anymore. I enjoy, as I've got older, I just enjoy good football. I get bored by not so good football. There are always games like that. What did I watch the other week? It was Newcastle. Was it Newcastle Bournemouth in that 0-0? Was like oh God, I couldn't take any more. Thank God it was only 90 minutes. You get games like that, but generally they're not like that, and they're just so unpredictable. And I think we're going to get goals this weekend for sure. Lots of them. Just hope that some of my players are involved. Great to know I'm not the only one dedicating the weekend. You're the same, are you, Creative? So, Norway. All right, because I have a really good friend who lives in Sweden, which isn't far away from you. Although you're going to turn around and tell me it's a long way away. But, yeah, I have a good friend who lives in Sweden. Who's actually coming across to England in November, but unfortunately I can't meet him because I'll be away in Vietnam. Couldn't be further away. And I met him through my FM channel, and now we are in regular contact. Lovely guy. So doing FM and FPL has done lovely things for me. I've met some really cool people. It's been a hell of a journey. Don't forget, give us a like, guys, if you are sitting there. It does help the channel a great deal, and I'd appreciate it, and I'd be very grateful for you doing that. So I'm going to go and get something to eat now. It's now getting on for 6:45. I hope you're all locked in with the team that you want. I hope you're happy with your teams. 40 minutes from the border. Oh, so it's not that far away. That's part of the world that I have actually never visited. I was just always suspected that it's probably a little bit expensive to be going on holiday to Scandinavia, especially Sweden. Sweden's a very expensive country. Maybe one day I'll get to go there. You never know. Never know. Thank you for coming, guys. Creative, Rob Taff, Callum. I do appreciate you coming and keeping me company for an hour or so. I've had a good time. And I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready to have an absolute disaster tonight. Senesi sent off and an own goal from Semenyo. And I have this superstition that my players do not play until 3 o'clock on Saturday. And I don't know where that's come from, but I do not trust Friday night fixtures, and I do not trust 12:30 kickoffs on a Saturday. My players just don't seem to turn up for those games. Points mean prizes. Captain Foden this week. Thoughts? I think it's a good shout. I think he's going to play. I think he looks like he's hungry. He's getting in the box. It's a good shout. If I had Foden, I'd be thinking of triple captain him this week. I think it's a very, very good shout, to be honest. And someone I didn't mention earlier, I did think about it. I did think Fernandes, Foden. I already had 2 Manchester City players, so I just went Fernandes. So yeah, Foden, very, very good shout. I would say that's a great shout for captain this week. He looks good. He looks very, very sharp to me. And I think it's a good call. Although I've probably jinxed you now. He'll blank and be taken off after 55 minutes. Or probably not play at all. But he looks like a very good shout to me. A very good shout. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. Now let's go and get frustrated. Yep. Especially tonight. I'll be going to bed under a cloud. And Haaland kept everyone away. I know. Like, I thought I was on a winner because I didn't triple captain him. And at 90 minutes, I'm just like, yes, yes. And then suddenly, 2 minutes later, it was like you were having a laugh. And I'm like, no way. No way. But it is what it is. Let's hope he does the business again this weekend. He's in form. Why not? But yeah, Foden is a very good shout, and I should have mentioned him earlier. I did think long and hard about bringing... Like, there's so many good players I could have brought in. Foden, Sarr, Njai, Grealish. They all were in my thoughts this afternoon. Big, big decisions. Sometimes you have too many transfers to make. And... it's done now. We're ready. Thanks, guys. Hopefully, I will keep doing these deadline streams. Hopefully, I will feel a little bit better by Sunday. And I'll come back and continue the Ipswich FM save. I do apologise that I've had to be in bed. The nurse just looked at me, I think on Tuesday, and said, enough, go to bed, 3 days. And... being as I'm going on holiday in 2 weeks, normally I'm quite disobedient and I say, yeah, whatever, and then I don't. But this time I thought, I better do as I'm told because I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks. And it's done me the world of good. So have a great weekend and good luck to everybody. And hopefully I'll see you on Sunday where we'll continue with Ipswich. And we're on the road to glory with them, that's for sure. Who knows what trophies we're going to win. Brought in Anthony over Minter and Ismail Assar. That's you're like me, I think. Shafiq, you are a gambler. Sarr would have been my number 1 pick, but, you know, you can't ignore Anthony. He's sitting number 2 in the points table for midfielders. You can't ignore that. And when somebody's in form, it doesn't matter who they're playing for. They're in form. So good luck with that, because you're like me, gambler. I brought in Fernandes. I gamble. I brought in Dubrovka in goal. I'm not afraid to gamble sometimes. So good luck with that, mate. And I hope it pays off for you. It's be tough game for them, but why not? Why not? So, thanks for coming. And I'm going to go and get something to eat, relax, watch the football. Oh, we got another one. Farzid. I have Gordon, Saka, Doku, Watkins, Gyökeres on a free hit. Gordon wouldn't have been one of my choices. I would have probably gone for someone else. I had this discussion earlier, but he's still a solid pick. Saka, we just don't know about. Doku is definitely a good pick. He's a differential. The only thing I worry about Doku is that he looks pretty when he's running with the ball. Looks excellent, but his final product is not great. But he could get assists, possibly goals as well. And Watkins is definitely a good shout. Definitely a good shout. Watkins may be coming into some form. Gyökeres on a free hit. Gyökeres, again, like Saka, we just don't know with Arsenal at the moment. But I think it's probably not a bad free hit that you've got there. It looks pretty strong. And there are some good fixtures as well that they're playing in. I will, Danish. Good to meet you, and hopefully I will see you again. And enjoy your football this weekend. Lineups are in. Go on then, tell us. Let's have a look. Lineups. Really all I'm interested in is Bournemouth. Let's go to BBC. It's the only time I ever listen to the BBC, but it's for to follow the football. Lineups are in. Senesi's playing. Semenyo's playing. That's all I need to know. Jimenez fit. Munoz ruled out. Fulham, Leno, Bassi, Anderson, Wilson, Berger, Iwobi, Lukic. Pretty much. I tell you what, if as a long-term pick, I'm seriously thinking about is Josh King. 4.5 million. And he looks like he's going to fit into that Fulham team really nicely. And I think I'm keeping a very close eye on how he performs because he looks like he could do well. So just someone for you guys to look out for in the future. His price is ridiculous. 4.5 million. A regular starter getting 80, 90 minutes. It's like... if he starts playing well and he's showing good signs, I think he's someone to look out for. So that's my tip, is King of Fulham. Senesi Semenyo starts. Yeah, absolutely good enough for me. So doesn't mean they're going to get me any returns, though, for Sid, but at least they're going to start. I'm guessing Senesi will blank and Semenyo scores an own goal or something. Senesi gets sent off. I don't know. It's Friday night football I hate. It's Burn or Shaw. For me, I would always... It's a bit late now. But I would always go Burn. He's just got that... He's just big. And in the box, he looks big. And he looks dangerous in the box from corners every single time. For me, always Burn over Shaw. Other people will say different for different reasons. But for me, it's just his size. And he always looks like he could threaten the goal from corners and free kicks. So, yeah, for me, every single time, I'd put Burn in over Shaw. I think Burn is slightly cheaper than Shaw as well. Evan Nielsen and Senesi starting for you. Awesome. So... the difference between us could be Semenyo or Evan Nielsen. It's again, it just changes how you watch the game, doesn't it? Just changes everything. For tonight, I am a Bournemouth fan. And is it a temporary Bournemouth fan? Maybe, but tonight I am a Bournemouth fan. Tomorrow, I don't know who I'm supporting tomorrow. Lots of teams. Is it quite interesting? I will probably be a Spurs fan at 12:30, and then I'll become a Manchester United fan at 3 o'clock. On Sunday, I will be Where am I here? I'll probably be a Nottingham Forest or a Newcastle fan. I'll probably be a Nottingham Forest fan at 2 o'clock and then a Manchester City fan at 4:30. That's just bonkers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully I will be back streaming on Sunday. 101 views. That's excellent. Average view time 6 minutes. That's pretty good as well. So thank you for coming, guys, and have a great time over the weekend. I'm going to rest up a little bit more, watch football, do a little bit of my book perhaps, and try and rest as much as possible so that I can come back for Sunday evening. And I'll let you all go. Have a great weekend. And thank you very, very much for coming. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate it always. Thank you for the chat. You guys are probably better at this game than I am. You probably teach me more than I'm giving you. But my one tip is watch this guy for Fulham, King. Josh King, I think his name is. Is it Josh or something? But King. It's 4.5 million. And he's becoming a regular starter. And he's good. Watch how he plays tonight. Let's go and kick some balls. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Be safe. And hopefully I will see you on Sunday.